One is a story-based podcast and a work of fiction. It is based off the novel One and is narrated and created by J.A. Laraque. You can find this podcast on Himalaya, iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, and anywhere where podcasts are found. Chapter 1: Alone in Darkness. My girlfriend Christine once told me that the darkness was created so people could wrap themselves within it. She said that it was a time to feel close to someone or close to yourself. I too thought this way, except for me, being alone in the dark was about freedom. I only really felt free when I was truly alone. I couldn't say when this started. Ashley, my sister, would tell me it happened after my father's death, but I believe it was long before that. Even with my friends and Christine, I always felt best when I was alone. Perhaps that's what I've always wanted, to be alone. Was that so wrong? I guess it doesn't matter now. If anyone is reading this, I was wrong. If no one ever reads this, then I've failed. I'm not good at telling stories. The cold logic of reality is my safe space, but I guess it is best to start at the beginning. I only assume this was the beginning because I honestly don't know when everything fell apart. There were a lot of lessons that I learned during this, and still yet a lot I will never learn. I did, however, discover why the darkness of night was created. It was so you could reflect on yourself, learn the truth, and be humbled by it. It all started in my room where I spent most of my time. When my family first moved into the apartment in Chicago high above the noise and confusion of the city below, I knew I would find peace here. From my balcony, I could look to my right, across Lakeshore Drive, and see the majestic Lake Michigan. Or I could look left, across the immense green landscapes of Lincoln Park. Even in the light of day, I felt segregated from the strangeness of humanity, and it felt grand. I'm not a poet or a dreamer. I was just a 20-year-old college student that wanted to be left in peace. I kept my room dark, even in the daytime. They created a word for me and tried to label me with it. Emo. Maybe there was a label for me, but it sure as hell was not created by the YouTube generation. There were no all-black clothes in my closet. I didn't put up makeup. I didn't spend my time listening to death metal while contemplating suicide. The light, at least when in my room, just was unwelcome. I still spent time outside with friends and family and Christine, and I had a great relationship with all of them. At least, I thought I did. That night, I just didn't want to go out. It was a Friday, sure, but there was no rule saying you had to run out into the street or else you weren't normal. I was comfortable. I was normal. My room was the way I needed it, quiet. For the most part, my mom and my sister, Ashley, had left me alone. It was just me and my computer, and the dark. The coolness of the night was calming. I was not fully wrapped within the shadows of the darkness. My computer's monitor was bright enough. There was plenty of light from it. That and the moon. It was just as if it was outside my patio doors and I could reach out to it and touch it. I bet it would be peaceful there. Online gaming for me was another form of freedom, and it's cost effective. Even though we had just entered the new millennium, most people did not understand our fascination with it. They did not understand that it allowed me to interact with people and yet remain separated and anonymous. I didn't overdo it. I just played during my downtime, mostly to unwind. It should have been just a normal day, but it wasn't. My cell phone blasted out some rock song that I never took the time to remember the name of. Christine put it on my phone. I think she said there was a message for me in the lyrics. That was just like her, thinking my life could mirror some garage band. I constantly had to remind people that there's no pause for online games, so one should understand my frustration being interrupted. The bright flashing light from my cell phone disturbed the peaceful ratio of darkness and light. It was just as intrusive as the noise. I didn't need to turn around and look at the phone on top of my bed to know who it was. The ringtone was for Christine. My room was larger than Ashley's, which upset her. I decided to place my bed in the center of the room and build around it. This allowed me to have maximum wall space for all my various books, academic achievement awards, and collectibles. It also made it simple to lean back in my office chair and grab hold of the cell phone from my bed, and then lean back to my desk. Timing is everything, and I knew how long the song would play until the voicemail took the call. She would just call me back if that happened. She knew I was at home. I could flip the phone open with my left hand while keeping control over my character with the mouse on my right hand. These skills are important if you're going to play online games. However, I needed my left hand for the keyboard. Thank God for the speaker button. What took you so long? Christine's voice could be smooth and seductive when she wanted it to be. Right now, she sounded more like my mother about to give me one of her lectures. Well, I love the song you put on my phone so much, I just had to let it play. She hated my sarcasm. Well, she hated it when directed at her. It's funny how that works. There's no need to get pissy with me, Timothy. I didn't call to pull you from that stupid game. Christine always had a disdain for my online gaming. Maybe that was one of the many red flags I missed or ignored. She claimed I spent too much time on it. This from a girl who could spend all day sending instant messages to her millions of fake friends around the world. No one has the right to criticize one's time. After all, time is all any of us really have. I've learned what happens when I try to keep you from something you want to do, Timothy. I didn't know what she meant by that. Honestly, I didn't care at that moment. Even on speaker, it isn't easy to listen and concentrate on my game. So, you called because... She went silent on me. In video games, sometimes you have dialogue choices. Pick the right one, and you get a positive result. I guess I picked the wrong one. I just wanted to make sure we were still meeting at the main library downtown tomorrow. It's important. Christine didn't put the word important just to anything. We had already planned to meet, but this was the first time I heard of this importance. I thought I knew why she added that word. I didn't mean it like that, Christine. I know that my lack of wanting to go out as of late has bugged you, but I promise, I will not stand you up. Although I've done it before, it was not that I didn't want to see her, but truthfully, I couldn't remember why. I know that it's nothing that won't keep until tomorrow. I'll let you get back to your game. There was something wrong, something inside her voice. I could have inquired more, but I didn't. I tried to blame the game, but again, that was a lie. Alright, Tomorrow then. Christine, you do know that you're important to me, right? Our relationship, while normal to me, would not look normal from the outside to the world. I did love Christine, but for me, someone being important and in one's thoughts was more powerful than love, which seemed fleeting. I knew my thinking was right, but in relationships, right isn't always right. Yeah, I know. I'll see you tomorrow. I could hear her breathing. It didn't sound normal. Again, I could have inquired, but I didn't. For someone who would explore every inch of a game to find every secret, I never felt that way about people. I didn't concern myself with their secrets and took whatever they were willing to give me. She hung up first. She never did that unless she was upset. I wanted to return to my game, but I couldn't. Too many thoughts in my head, and unwinding was no longer on the menu. I've made some stupid mistakes in my life, many that hurt people I love. Sadly, despite knowing this, I continued to make them. Christine had been nothing but supportive since I met her. We've been through some stuff, and sometimes her nagging got on my nerves. The thing is, I knew she only had my best interests in mind. It had been a tough year, not only for Christine and me, but my entire family. Even I would admit that I'd been a bit distant. I just needed some time. At least that's what I told myself. This is why the dark is a gift as well as a curse. Being alone brought me clarity. This was good. However, sometimes when the fog is cleared, it reveals something that you hoped you'd never see. That was bad. I tried to force my focus back on my computer screen. I just needed to silence my thoughts and let the darkness bring back my peace. Then I felt it. Someone was watching me. Next time. Chapter 2.